All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we have an interesting update out of Gervonta Davis's camp, as it appears as if he has a new sponsorship coming from Turki Alashiek's Ring magazine. As many people speculating that this could be the first step of an olive branch between the two that could lead to Gervonta Davis fighting Shakur Stevenson. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we've got an interesting development in Gervonta Davis's camp. As yesterday, there was a video released out of his camp by his head coach, Calvin Ford, where they were training in the gym and they were doing basically a piece for two organizations. One was Ring Magazine and the other one was Box Raw. As we know, Box Raw currently has a deal with Gervonta, but Ring Magazine is owned by Turki Alashiek. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really makes a big difference to the channel. This particular video, I think, is very, very good news. Really good news. And that is that there is now seems to be, at least at some level, a working relationship between Turki Alashiek's camp and Gervonta Davis. Now, why do I think that that is a good thing? Because of the work that Turki Alashiek and Ring Magazine was doing in that video. And what were they doing? They were giving out equipment to young boxers, to young fighters. That, I do believe, is the first thing that I've seen from Turki Alashiek where I thought, okay, this guy now is starting to show a little bit of vision. And that is because he is getting his organization known for doing something that is real. And if you're not familiar with how brands are been grown in the United States, like Nike had been grown and Adidas had been grown, it's by making sure that young athletes that are coming up have that brand on them, right? So if you are a really good basketball player or you had a good basketball team, Nike would sponsor your team. So you would get all of your basketballs from Nike. You'd get your gym shoes from Nike. You can get your tops from Nike, right? And over time, people started really paying attention to Nike because, you know, it was the shoes that all of the really good basketball players were wearing. So that is just a very, very good, solid marketing tool to get known by fighters. So that, when I saw them do that, I was like, okay, man, I really, really appreciate that, because the one thing that's going to help the sport of boxing grow really is getting access to young fighters and making sure they have the equipment that they need, the things that they need to get to amateur competitions. And when you have a relationship with young fighters like that, especially out of gyms like Upton Gym, where they have so much talent coming through that gym, to be somebody that can be seen by those people as they get closer to being top amateurs and top professionals, to have them see you and see your brand in a positive way could very well allow them, if they wanted to later on, to sign with you because you have that good past with them. So I absolutely applaud the idea of doing that and getting those equipment and getting that stuff to those kids. And so the fact that Turki Alashiek would be involved with that, let Ring Magazine be involved with that, I think there's an absolutely terrific thing. And I'll take my hat off to him, you know, anytime he's doing something that I think is really, really exceptional. However, I have to say that this is a far cry from Gervonta Davis fighting for Turki Alashiek. Now, there is been a lot of rumors around what's going on with Gervonta Davis's next fight. I've done several videos on it where there's been rumors that people from Turki Alashiek's outfit have been doing things to try to prevent Gervonta Davis's undercard from being formed well. And, obviously people are familiar with the back and forth between Gervonta and Turki Alashiek, where Gervonta says, hey man, I want give me 2 Ferraris if you want me to sign with you. And now, of course, where you have, a rumored $100 million payday for Terrence Crawford for the Canelo Alvarez fight, and a rumored $200 million for Canelo for fighting Terrence Crawford. When you have that type of inflated pay, when Gervonta Davis, if he was going to go over there, then you're going to have to pay Gervonta Davis, the same way that you would pay Canelo Alvarez. And you're paying Canelo Alvarez significantly more than he's generating. So you'd have to do the same thing for Gervonta Davis. And I just don't know whether or not those guys are going to be willing to do that for one reason or another. And I do not believe that Turki Alashiek and what Turki Alashiek is doing in boxing is going to last, right? So even the nice things that he's doing for the young kids in the gyms, and I'm telling you, I think that is a very nice thing. Yes, I know that it still falls underneath the umbrella of sports washing. I know that it's still, you're trying to, affect and guide what people think about you. On this particular level, I think it's fair. I think it's a good thing because, hey, man, there's not a lot of people out there that are doing it, and it is a seriously overlooked situation. My channel has donated wraps and hand wraps and things like that to kids, and it gets rather expensive, to do that. So my hat goes off to Turki Alashiek. My hat goes off to Ring Magazine for doing it. I hope that they partner more with more PBC fighters with Ring and let PBC fighters carry the Ring banner. The only issue that I have with the Ring is what the Ring writes, obviously, because the Ring itself has been used as a propaganda tool as far as, what the messages that they've been delivering for the last several years. From at least the time that Oscar De La Hoya bought it, and probably before that, they were involved in, not necessarily treating fighters the most fair. And, but it's something that I would overlook in this particular case, because again, this is Ring Magazine doing things for the youth. And most of these boxers, young men, are not going to be professional fighters. They're not going to be top amateurs. They're just going to be loving the sport of boxing during the time that they compete with it when they're kids before they go off to do something else. And Ring Magazine can be part of putting together some really, really wonderful memories. But as far as this signaling anything, as far as, something between Gervonta and Turki Alashiek, probably too little too late. And I don't see it. I don't see one thing playing into the other. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.